Hello. Okay, so my name is Kamewen. I am in the Justice and Community Advocacy Program. I am doing my presentation on crime prevention through environmental design. This is for the situational awareness and defense class the spring semester. I'm gonna try and makeshift this the best that I can. I can also upload a different video so you can see it a little bit more clearly instead of just talking with a screen and it being backwards. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so I did my project on where I work, so for Menominee County Human Services Department. This is my building here. It's kind of located on top of a hill, so I'll be showing some pictures of it being on a hill, sort of, and I feel like that's part of the environmental design too. Yeah, so this here is like the courthouse, so part of the deterrence aspect of probably this design. Also, there's these double doors here, which there's another set of double doors after you get into these double doors. And there's also kind of a hill here too. Let's see. Okay, so as previously I was talking about this hill up here too. There is also a door up here, so we can have like handicap clients that can go up there if they need to go upstairs because there's no elevator or like escalators or anything inside of the building other than stairs. So I feel like that's kind of a failure for our handicap population. Okay, so for another part of the situational awareness, I think, is deterrence. Over here, we have Menominee Tribal Police Department over here. There's also some squads a little bit over here. This is also the hill that was mentioned earlier. Also, the parking lot, you can get in only two ways. There's not really a whole lot of leniency other than just going down the hill, but a lot of people don't do that. Here is also the Menominee Tribal Police Department, kind of like a bigger picture, and the hill, again, right down here. Here's also another better picture. This is the tribal clinic here, so we have the healthcare over there. So I think the big part of our agency being on top of a hill and also keeping trees here, I think that's part of the environmental design to kind of prevent people from walking up the hill and kind of like loitering around this area here. There is some damage over here when our highway department tried to cut down a tree and then it just kind of damaged that part. Okay, so here is also the double doors. So you would go into this part here. We also have Corby access too, so I think that's part of our security system. Then there's the double doors here. I kind of tried to take a better picture of it so that you could see both of them. It acts as a transitional space between the outdoors and the interior, protecting a buffer zone, and can also be used as a security feature. Also helps with regulating airflow and save on energy costs. Okay, so whenever our clients need to go and see us for like appointments or visits or anything like that, They do have to speak to a receptionist, as most agencies do with human services, because it's mainly appointment only. So they would need to go in and check in and let the person that they're there to see, they would phone call us in our offices and let them know that they're here for them to see us and everything. There is also Corby access again. We also have stairs too. Again, not really handicap friendly, but like if there were to be some sort of intruder, they would have to climb up the stairs. I think that's pretty fortunate for those who work in the top floor, because we would be able to hear them stumbling up the stairs, or if there was any sort of threat, they would probably go downstairs first. So yeah. Here is kind of like a layout, a geographical picture of the top floor. This is the stairway that was pictured before. So it goes in like a big circle here. There's also another exit on to the left. There's also an exit towards the right over here, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But there's also a separate building if you go straight this way. It's the Family Advocacy Center. So this exit would be here. This also leads to some, I guess, not very stable stairs that is kind of blocked off, essentially. Not very good. I feel like it's poorly blocked off on our safety concerns, I guess. This is also the entrance to the Family Advocacy Center. So for us to enter, we literally just need to push the bar and go right in. But in order for us to get back into the Human Services building, we would need, there's a Corby access on the opposite side of this door. So we're able to go in the FAC, but we need a Corby access to get back into the Human Services building. Okay, so the exit that I was talking about before with the staircase, it's gonna be up here. So this is kind of blocked off here. There's also construction over here too that's kind of blocked off because this is a very, like I said, very hilly part. And we also do have surveillance cameras. I don't think they're pictured in here, but there's one kind of set up way over here. And here's another picture of the woods for that environmental design, so that people don't walk up and kind of loiter around this area. Okay, so there is the exit. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see, but there's also this little chain here that there's also like a stop sign. There's another similar picture that I can talk about too, which is kind of weird that we don't, like, part of our awareness is that there's no, that should probably be down here, I would assume. So people are prevented to going up the stairs because of its, I guess it's not very secure, or it's structured right. Okay, here's just another picture of the woods part down here. And this is around kind of like the side of the agency building. Okay, here's another part of like the staircase and everything. Here's the makeshift stop and the chain here to prevent us from going on like the deck part. Here's also the hill part here. It's being made into like a driveway, I guess, so that people can get up there and park up on top of the hill, or like the back entranceway. Here's another picture of like a Corby access. So I think that's probably a good security feature, but it also makes you think that, you know, if we lose our Corby cards, then whoever has them has access to the building, essentially. Okay, and that's pretty much it. All right, thank you.